We are going to move on to something that I think I have talked about multiple times. It's called multi-factor authentication. And if you do not like sit down, think about what you're doing, because this is very serious, and I'm very serious about this, and you should be too. If you do not have multi-factor authentication on your emails, do it today. Do it right now. If you do not have multi-factor on your password manager, stop the live stream, come back and listen to it this afternoon, and put it on right this second. I've been working with someone as of Monday night at 11 o'clock. I think that's when it started, who did not enable multi-factor authentication on many parts of their life. And one of them, it kind of seems to get worse and worse as the days go by, is finding more and more out. But it all started with email not having multi-factor authentication. Then, as of yesterday, it was kind of discovered that the password manager did not have multi-factor authentication, which basically meant everything that this person has been exposed to thugs, to cyber criminals, and that has been very devastating for this person. And they know what they're going to have to do. We've kind of went over this, how many years it's going to take to clean this up. So if you don't want to spend 15 to 20 minutes to put multi-factor authentication on your software, on your accounts, then you can potentially spend years cleaning things up, because it's not just, passwords, it's phone numbers, it's your personal information, it's your social security number, it's everything in your password manager that you store. And I store an awful lot in there so that if I ever need it, if anything ever happens to my house, that I have a copy of it with me. So it's very serious. I would look into this today. I have reached out to a lot of people that I work with, and I said, I just want to make sure that this has turned on, because I don't want to spend days and weeks and months helping you clean up what you're going to be spending a lot of time cleaning up. So just be aware. I will put out a separate video about what else you can look at, but this is a lot of work and it's very emotional. So please, do it before something happens to you. Okay, now we're going on to updates and user emails. This one, people may remember how, depending on how long you've been here, but man throws away a fortune in Bitcoin, now looking to dig it up. Now, this was back in 2017. I remember this story and I was like, oh man, that really sucks for this guy. But James Howell, a British IT worker and an early investor in Bitcoin, he also has every right to be the most furious man on earth. Well, that's debatable. Basically, he was mining Bitcoin before Bitcoin was worth anything. His girlfriend basically said, I'm tired of the noise, I'm tired of everything. And he sold everything. He put the Bitcoin, which was 75, well, depending on the article, 7,500 to 8,000 Bitcoin, which started, back in 2017 as millions. It was thrown away in a dump. And the latest is the British man sues council for 647 million over lost Bitcoin in landfill. James Howell, an IT manager from Newport, is suing the Newport City Council in the United Kingdom for 495 million British pounds, or $647 million, in damages after accidentally discarding a hard drive containing 8,000 Bitcoin. Somehow he gained 500 more, but it doesn't really matter. The moral of this story is keep things backed up. Don't just think, I'm not going to need it. Yes, keep it in an encrypted drive. Keep it around. Keep it in an encrypted drive so that you don't have to worry about it. But this is going to continue, and the council basically said, no, we're not going to let you dig it up. He had a plan to spend $11 million to systematically go through the dump and try to find that hard drive, and they said no. So now he's going to court. So this saga will continue, and we'll see how it ends up. So Apple fixes bugs in macOS Sequoia that broke some cybersecurity tools. In September, Apple released a new version of its computer operating system, macOS 15, also known as Sequoia, which broke the functionality of several cybersecurity products, including those made by CrowdStrike and Microsoft. 3 weeks later, on Friday, Apple released the first update of macOS 15, and it claims to have fixed those issues. In the macOS 15.0.1 release, Apple says the updates improves compatibility with third-party security software. We talked about this when it happened. We had a couple people that it broke their OS and they could not really do that much. And hopefully, if you were a part of that, there is a fix and you can now update and use your software. So scams, hacks, breaches, news. Ledger users targeted by malicious clear signing phishing email. Well, that's not new. Ledger users are always targeted by malicious users, but a new wave of scam emails is targeting Ledger users and attempting to steal their crypto holdings. The scam emails aimed at convincing users to activate a security feature called Ledger Clear Signing by October 31st. So they can continue using their Ledger device. The emails sent from the address not associated with Ledger, of course, they can't send it from Ledger, directed users to a malicious link to activate the fake security feature. And this is a quote from the email, to continue using your Ledger device securely, activating clear signing is mandatory starting November 1st, 2024. This feature is essential in protecting your assets from phishing attacks and fraudulent activities that are becoming more sophisticated. So I have to say high five to everybody that when they might post something in the Crypto Lab Telegram group saying, another scam email, because first thing they do is they check who the from address is. And if it's not from the official Ledger site, then it is bogus. And if you really think that it's from Ledger, well, don't take the word from an email. Go to ledger.com. Take a look at what they have to say. And it's not just ledger.com. It's any email that comes in. If I get something from my bank, I don't believe the email. I'll go to my web. I'll log into the website, log into the app, and I will check out what that email is saying if it's true. We know that websites get hacked into. We know that email systems, in the past, they have been hacked into. Now, I do have to say, and this was part of the investigation that I was doing this week, financial institutions have a much tighter and more rigid system than your normal website. I don't hear too many large banks being hacked. I mean, it's probably possible. So you can trust, Citibank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, whatever bank that you use, more likely their site is not going to be hacked, but, just stay vigilant and make sure that you check all the details, especially when it comes in emails. Scammers promote fake Uniswap L2 on Google amid Unichain hype. Google mistakenly promoted a fake version of the Unichain website that spammed users with requests to drain their wallets. The website, originally located at, I don't even know what this is, but it's like unichainlindefi.com, claimed to be the official site for Uniswap's Unichain network. But in reality, it did not offer a new network with user-friendly apps. Instead, it stole all the users' cryptocurrency and transferred it to the site's developers, who were not affiliated with Uniswap at all, according to warnings presented in the Web3 wallet MetaMask. So make sure whatever site you visit is the correct site. And if you're not sure, don't visit and do your research. Over 200 malicious apps on Google Play downloaded millions of times. Oh, wow, that's a lot. Google Play, the official store for Android, distributed over a period of 1 year more than 200 malicious applications, which cumulatively counted for nearly 8 million downloads. The data was collected between June 2023 and April 2024 by threat intelligence researchers Zscaler, who identified and analyzed malware families both on Google Play and other distribution platforms. The most common threat the researchers discovered on the official Android App Store included Joker at 30 basically 39%. Info stealer, an SMS message grabber that subscribes victims to premium services. Adware, apps that consume internet bandwidth and battery to load either intrusive foreground ads or invisible ads in the background, generating fraudulent ad impressions. So be careful what you're downloading. Investigate, how many downloads have there been, how many reviews have there been, and the time frame of those. So don't just download anything. Be careful what you put on your devices. Malicious ads exploited Internet Explorer 0-day to drop malware. The North Korean hacking group Scarcraft launched a large-scale attack in May that leveraged an Internet Explorer 0-day flaw to infect agents with the Rock Rat malware and exfiltrate data. Basically, keep your software up to date. Don't do it tomorrow, do it today. 0 days basically mean it was not known, and it could be actively exploited. So if you suspect that, just download and keep everything up to date. Don't push it off and wait till later. We're going to go into crypto news. Stripe new stablecoin option gains traction in 70 countries on day one. Stripe, a major payment provider, we use Stripe, saw users from 70 countries adopt its newly launched stablecoin payment option on the first day of its rollout, highlighting strong global demand for alternative payment solutions. Stripe was the first major payment provider to adopt Bitcoin in 2014. Still, the company backtracked on the decision in 2018, citing slow confirmation times and high fees as the reason for abandoning Bitcoin as a payment method. But as I try to bring every week, stable coins are becoming mainstream, not fringe, but companies are adopting stablecoin as an alternative to the dollar. So I guess you could call it the digital dollar. And Stripe is doing that. Bitcoin search volume drops to a yearly low while meme coins surge. So I know people in the past have, they've guessed where Bitcoin could be going with retail as the search terms increase. So Google search volumes for the term Bitcoin reached 1-year lows during the week of October 12th, 2024. Out of a scale of 100, worldwide interest in the search term dropped to just 33 by the end of the week. Meanwhile, the search volume for meme coins was 77 out of 100 during the same period, but has not yet managed to break through a previous all-time high of 100 reached in late October 2023. So meme coins are still hot, and hopefully we'll get that interest in Bitcoin higher and higher. And I'm
I'd like
sorry to
to add
say,
something right there, George.
sure.
I was on a call this week with a couple of guys that run a big hedge fund, and they had also a couple of guests on the call. And one of the conversations was about, say, the next couple of generations, their discussions about crypto. And what their discussions were is that basically every time they're in a conversation with, let's call it, say, millennial, post millennial, what comes after that? Gen X? Is that what comes after that? Um,
I think so.
yeah. So, say go from millennials. So we're talking people that are roughly in their 30s, 35, 36, 33 years old and backwards. So you talk to a 35-year-old all the way down to a 25-year-old. And what they continue to run into is that when they say to those guys, well, of course you're holding Bitcoin, right? And they go, well, heck no, we're not holding Bitcoin. We want to be able to buy a house one day. We want to be able to, go on vacation, blah, blah, blah. And their comeback is Bitcoin's only going to give them a 3 or 4x. Why would we get in Bitcoin? And so they were kind of discussing this from the perspective of how come the meme coins are getting such a big pump, in this cycle, is because there's a lot of people going, why the heck will we buy Bitcoin? The X factor is only 3, it's only 4, it's only 6. Over here, yeah, we can own dog with hat and it's going to go up 35 times. And they basically get it like, hey, as soon as people stop talking about it, sell it. If everybody's talking about it, buy it. And it's a pretty wild conversation if you think of it, because this is printing money out of thin air in most cases, because most of these meme coins, in fact, maybe even all of them today anyway, they have zero use case. I think some of them potentially will have a use case in the future, but today they don't. So thought I would just throw that in.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. That's kind of a tough one to put some big serious money in. Okay, Italy plans to raise capital gains tax on Bitcoin from 26% to 42%, report. The Italian tax authority plans to raise capital gains tax on Bitcoin to 42% as part of its 2025 budget plans. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, well, because I thought it was interesting, number one. And number two, this is where I think people need to think differently. So I don't know um, the details of this are, but if you buy Bitcoin, it sounds like you have to buy Bitcoin. But what about a something that is that is on a stock market like MicroStrategy, where you could buy MicroStrategy, be exposed to Bitcoin, but not have the horrible 42% increase in capital gains. I don't know of the details, and if anybody's in Italy or frankly in any other part of the world, if you see a big increase in your capital gains or gains taxed, specifically on a crypto like Bitcoin, why not go with something that offers you the same type of increase in value, but you can buy it on the stock market? I know I was talking to uh, someone, not in this group, but a friend of a friend, and they were saying it's hard for them to get crypto where they are, and to get money into it, to hold it. But it's easier for them to buy stocks on U.S. stock markets. So they're looking at ETFs. They're looking at MicroStrategy. So if you're in one of those jurisdictions that's just going to tax the heck out of you, see if holding a representation of Bitcoin would be a better tax advantage than the Bitcoin itself. So just something to think about and throw your way. So we're on to technology news. AI bots now beat 100% of those traffic image captchas. Anyone who has been surfing the web for a while is probably used to clicking through a CAPTCHA grid street image, identifying everyday objects to prove that they're human and not an automated bot. Now, through new research claims that locally run bots using specifically trained image recognition models can match human level performance in this style of CAPTCHA, achieving 100% success rate despite being decidedly not human. Google's reCAPTCHA v2, which challenges users to identify which street images in a grid contained items like bicycles, crosswalks, mountains, stairs, or traffic signs. Google began phasing that system out years ago in favor of invisible reCAPTCHA v3, which analyzes user interactions rather than offering an explicit challenge. And I know this is true because some of the websites that I handle, there's some compatibility with some of the software on version 2 as compared to version 3, and the version 2 versions were letting bots through. All of a sudden, I review some logs and I review what's going on a website, so I make sure it's okay. And I caught, all of a sudden there were all these fake accounts being created. I was like, how are they getting through? And it was because it was, the CAPTCHA version 2 and not 3. Now, it took a little bit of, trying, and some people could not log in to certain places, and they'll understand what I was trying to do. But yeah, I found out not the hard way, fortunately, just it took a bit of work to get those malicious accounts created out. But this is 100% right on, because that's what I've been dealing the last couple weeks on. So OpenAI confirms threat actors use ChatGPT to write malware. Of course, because everybody's using ChatGPT or AI to do everything. So OpenAI AI has distributed over disrupted over 20 malicious cyber operations abusing its AI-powered chatbot. ChatGPT for debugging and developing malware, spreading misinformation, evading detection, and conducting spear phishing attacks. The report, which focuses on operations since the beginning of the year, constitutes the first official confirmation that generative mainstream AI tools are being used to enhance offensive cyber operations. There's nothing you can do about it, but just be aware of that. Firefox 0-day under attack. Update your browser immediately. Warning, Will Robinson. Warning, Will Robinson. Mozilla has revealed a critical security flaw impacting Firefox, and Firefox Extended Support Release ESR has come under active exploitation in the wild. So if you have Firefox, I have Firefox. When I stumbled across this, I looked at mine and it had not been updated. So if you have Firefox, don't wait. Do it now. It's really easy. Open Firefox. Go to the About Firefox under the little Firefox pull-down menu, and you'll get this pop-up, and it will tell you if you need to update your browser or not. Since it's active in the wild, do it now so you don't run into any issues. Check it. Don't push it off till tomorrow. Do it today. So we have one more. iOS 18 has a bug where the VPN indicator remains stuck in the status bar even when the VPN connection is inactive. Restarting the iPhone resets the indicator, but the bug may reoccur intermittently. Let us know if you're able to reproduce it. So if you use a VPN on iOS 18, make sure that even though it says that it's on, that it is. One way that I check all the time, because it's a really easy URL, is whatismyip.com. If you type that in, it's either whatismyipaddress.com or whatismyip.com. I type it in so many times that it just kind of automatically comes up. If you find that, or you can Google it, what is my IP, and it'll show you your IP address. If you use Comcast for your service provider and you think you have your IP address on, or sorry, your VPN on, your IP address should not be Comcast. It should be Proton or some other third party. So just verify. Don't trust, verify in this instance if it's really important for you to be on that VPN, because, well, there's the bug that hopefully will be fixed. And finally, lots of PCs are poised to fall off Windows 10 update cliff 1 year from today. Well, that was 1 year from the 14th of October. 1 year from today, October 14th, 2025, Microsoft will stop releasing security updates for PCs that are still running Windows 10. Organizations and individuals will still be able to pay for 3 more years of updates, with the price that goes up steadily each year. Microsoft still hasn't provided pricing for end users, only saying that it will release pricing info closer to the October 2025 date. But most PCs running Windows 10 will end. The line is in sight. So if you have a Windows machine, you have Windows 10, Christmas is coming up. Maybe it's time for Santa to give you a new computer, because there's no reason to pay Microsoft a fee for updating your Windows 10 when you can put that money toward a new computer and not necessarily give as much money to Microsoft. But that's all I have for today. Jay, back to you.